God, I cannot get enough of that song. Hey, everybody, Ron Onesti here, hanging and banging with you once again on this Thursday night. We're doing something a little bit different. This is actually a pre-recorded segment because the guests on our show today are in all different time zones around the world. So we're going to have some fun with them. So keep putting your chats in, keep putting your comments in as you see this. We'll get back to them for next week. But right now, we are pre-recorded live with my brothers here, Vinny and Carmine. Let's bring them onto the screen, because it's going to be a big show. There's the so this is actually quite early in the morning for Vinny. I don't know that he's ever been. He probably went to grammar school starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
There's no more. Uh-oh.
Well, hopefully keep you going.
But that's such a nice. Let's see this. Counts.
Count Customs. I want one of those, Vin.
We rehearsed and recorded at his
and
studio.
That's the Counting Cars TV show.
Counting Cars, yeah.
Yeah, very cool, guys.
Danny.
I had them. I did an event with them. Oh yeah, very cool. I did an event with them in Vegas. Actually, they opened for Billy Gibbons and Bret Michaels. It was a really cool show. They got a band, you know.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Danny was in our last King Cobra video that we did, and
phenomenal guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
He owns the club out there. Phenomenal musicians.
He owns the club out there called Vamped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the guy's got his figures and everything out there. I give him a lot of credit. And again, what TV has done for them obviously was a cool gig for them. But anyway, it's good to see you guys during the day. Again, I don't really know what Vinny looks like this time of the morning. And now I know why. So,
I don't either. Look at you. You look like you're half sleeping.
No, you know what? I keep...
Where's the jacket and everything?
I know. You know, I work during the day. You know, I'm up early. I'm up at 6, 7 in the morning, and I'm on the road. You know, and then I got to do this thing. So at night, you know, so it's a rocket day for me. You know, the meetings, booking all you guys, creating the shows. That's what we do. And today we got
rebooking.
And then rebooking and moving and canceling
the show.
and rebooking.
My day today is going to be trying to get oil stains off my pavers in the garage, in the driveway.
And you know what? All kidding aside, that's a cool thing, because a lot of people, for some reason, don't realize that you rock and roll icons are just dudes too, and you got to deal with daily things like cleaning grease off of pavers or throwing out your garbage. They think you've got staffs to do all this stuff.
I think you should video a little clip of that. Say, I'm Carmine. I'm going to get this oil off, and I'm using whatever you're using.
Yeah,
and see if it works.
We already tried it.
We get a sponsorship
so far, it didn't work. Now we have to go out and get some paint thinner, lacquer thinner, according to the internet.
Well, this is not. We're not covering this stuff due to a lack of content, because we've got guys on backstage. They're rock and roll icons, and we're talking about lacquers and thinners. Yeah, this has got to be called. We got to be talking about rockers and drummers. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do today. We got two guys.
All the drums have lacquers and thinners on it too.
That's right.
That's why you're an icon. You bring it full circle. And you know what? Ironically, there's a guy that's going to be on our show today that can actually speak to the chemistry of the lacquers and thinners that are a part of drums, because Billy Ludwig III, B3 as he's affectionately called, is our guest today, along with Nigel Glockler from Saxon, of course. So we're so excited to have these guys. Let's bring them on and let's start this party, this drummer party. There's Billy and there's Nigel.
How you doing?
Guys, thank you for joining us today. You see what's happening here. You see already they pick on me every day. I mean, every week, first of all. I'm not looking for sympathy, but that's how it starts. But then we get into the legends. These guys, you know, it's funny because these two guys are brothers through and through. And I got to separate them because they go after each other. But at the end, it's a love fest. And it's beautiful.
We're the opening act.
Okay, first of all, I have a question.
Yes.
Nigel, you're in England.
Yeah.
It looks like you got palm trees back there.
Well, I'm on the south coast.
What is that behind you?
What, the tree?
Yeah,
a tree.
They look like palm trees.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're called. They're sort of, they sort of grow around here, you know.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
That's funny.
And Billy, since we're talking about our backgrounds, you got a platinum, you got a gold. What specifically are you representing back there?
Those are a couple from REO Speedwagon as a thank you for, the drums, and one from Rat.
Rat.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Cool.
Rat with a tail this long.
Hell yeah. Well, there's so many. Obviously, this is a really interesting show because we obviously have, 3 wonderful users of your product, of the product. And then, you represent not just, as we said, the chemistry, the physics, the actual construction of these items, these products that these gentlemen use on a daily basis, but the history. Without getting too deep into it, because that's not really what this is about. This is about just us hanging and banging and talking about different things. But I'd be remiss if we didn't cover a little bit from 1909 when the whole party started with your grandfather. The first question about the history of it, what do you personally have? There's got to be something of your grandfather's, of those first times, when it first came out. What is the oldest or most valued piece of memorabilia you have from the early days?
Well, unfortunately, my dad was the one who had that big collection of all the early pedals and things like that. I've got just some really good pictures of my grandfather when he was starting the company and in the shop with like 3 people, and you could see him in the background. He was in the shop every day, and he was very hands-on. So, but mainly the memories, because I got to know him when I was growing up. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the picture behind me. That's the 3 of us playing in 1969. Wow. And
that's
I remember that vividly.
That's incredible. Now, did he actually set out to be a drum maker, or did it evolve from something?
No, it was just purely accidental. He was about 20 years old, and he was on the road with the circus, and they didn't tour in the winter.
As a drummer?
Yes. And he got a gig with a vaudeville
percussionist,
act. Yeah, he got a gig with a vaudeville act when the circus
like Buddy
was
Rich
touring.
stuff.
And he needed a faster bass drum pedal. His wasn't cutting it. So he made his own in his garage, and it was small, folded up, and it fit in your pocket. And everybody just freaked out and said, "Where'd you get that?" "I made it." "Well, make me one." So he and his brother Theobald started making pedals in their garage, and that's how it started.
Wow!
So it's more about the whole thing began more about the pedals than the drums themselves.
Well, it was he was very innovative, and he made things that would help himself play, and that's why it expanded into all the drums and then the accessories and the sound effects for silent movies. And then he got a gig with an opera and on timpani, and it was hand tuned. Every note was hand tuned, and he thought, this is a real pain. I wish I could do this with my feet. So he developed the foot tuned timpani.
Wow! Wow! I didn't know all this. This is great.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was, the thing about it is you have tension on the head, and then the foot pedal wants to change positions as soon as you strike the drum. So he put a big spring in between called the Balanced Action Tuning System, patented in 1932, and it's still the best one out there now.
Wow.
And that's what keeps the pedal where you left it, when you tune the drum. So, yeah, it's pretty complex.
Wow.
That's you're looking at the and that's the thing with you guys, and I sit there. I'm not a drummer, but I'm just a huge fan of you guys. And when I'm backstage and the acts on stage and I'm watching the drummers, and it just mystifies me how you guys accomplish what you do musically and the physics of all of it. And it's interesting how you look at even the simplest of kits and the cymbal system and how that whole thing works is just amazing. There's a lot more science that I think people give you guys credit for understanding.
Yeah.
I have a 1968 Speed King in the closet, right?
Yeah.
And I've been using DWs and some D drum pedals. I said, you know what? I want to see how this feels after using those pedals. I gotta admit, it's still faster than all the pedals.
Yeah.
The only problem it doesn't have the power.
Yeah.
You know, the actual power of the new pedals, but the speed is ridiculous. And then you wonder how like Bonham did those triplets on his foot.
Yeah.
It was with a Speed King pedal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Couldn't do it with another pedal because they didn't have the speed in those days. And you know, and I switched from the 26 Ludwigs to the 24s.
Hey,
because
Sid, let me call you back.
because the Speed King pedal wouldn't hit in the middle of the bass drum head. It was so small compared to the 26. So I lowered it to 24 where the pedal actually hit in the middle again.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. I have about a dozen of those in LA in my locker.
Well, you know, the funny thing about that pedal is Nico used to use one all the time in the beginning.
Yep.
And used Ludwig Silver Dot heads and the Ludwig Speed King pedal, even though he endorsed Sonar. So I would always go see his show, and I like to get there at sound check, as you guys know, so I could get in and say hi and look around.
Yep.
And I would always, you know, say hi to Nico and go right up to his kit and look down to make sure there's one pedal, not a double pedal. And I still to this day don't know how he plays that fast on one pedal, but he's
incredible.
Yeah, it's funny. I just did a thing with him for a TV thing he's doing like we do. So he has a drum shop in England, right? Drum One,
Yeah.
right, Nigel. And and so we did this. I did the first episode, and he did a song. We were Eagles there or something. It was an intro.
Yeah.
It was like a 3/4 thing, and so he played it and then played a little solo, and then I played on his drum set a little solo, and his foot was fast. Man. I was going to bring my double pedal, and I forgot to bring it.
Come on, are you guys going out with each other?
Yeah, he's my new wife.
Let's get it on record here.
Let me tell you, Nico is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
That I've ever met.
No, he really is
in the business. He's really an unbelievable nice guy.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
he's been on our show several times, and getting him. I mean, you know, getting a word in edgewise is a little challenging because he's so passionate.
Yeah.
He's so passionate, and when he tells a joke, it's a good 45-minute experience. So we got. But he's great. He's great.
Yeah. We did this golf tournament the other day on Saturday. I don't play golf.
Really?
So he said, "Why don't you come down? You're riding the golf cart." So I brought my neighbor with me. We drove around, watched Nico and Tico play.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
All we needed is Chico.
So in other words, you went on a date with Nico.
So you are dating.
I was on a date with Tico, Nico, and John and Mitch and
Carmine.
A double date.
Carmine, the visual of you in a white golf skirt, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you get all the truth here on this show. I got to tell you, all the gospel.
You see what the brothers do to each other? This is what I'm talking about.
This Vinny's a ball buster, you know?
Listen, ball buster or not.
Getting back to the fact that Nico is such a nice guy.
Yeah.
No, he's stellar. You know, Nigel, being a part of that group that's put right up there with Iron Maiden and Def Leppard. Saxon is one of my favorite bands to have at the Arcada Theater, actually by us in St. Charles. I love when you guys come. But right up there with those guys. You joined the band in '81, weren't there from the very beginning, but you're pretty much, you know, you're about as much as an iconic Saxon player as anybody. When you guys get compared to Iron Maiden or Def Leppard, and I shouldn't even say compared, that's probably not the right word, but put up there with them, what would you say is a similarity that you have with that band that you guys share from being across the pond versus American acts?
Well, I mean, we were just part of that new wave of British heavy metal, you know, when the band started. So it was Saxon were lumped in it, Def Leppard was lumped in it, Iron Maiden, Diamond Head, Tigers of Pantang, all those British bands. So that's why they're lumped together. I mean, I wouldn't put sort of Def Leppard they're not as sort of heavy as...
Yeah, they're not as heavy as you guys.
You know. But I mean, obviously, both Maiden and Leopard have done a lot better than we have because various things happened on,
On the way.
Called the hit single. Called the hit
well,
singles.
well, there's a hit single, and there's sometimes sort of management problems, in the past, and
that comes up a lot.
Oh man, I mean, some of the stuff our ex-managers would want us to do, but no, I mean that's why we're lumped together with those guys, because it is the new wave of British heavy metal, and which came out of the sort of heavy rock
like
thing,
Deep Purple and
BBA
over there.
But it burst out after the punk thing.
The punk thing I was going to hit on.
So the punk thing was like
huge.
Hence, a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands were playing really fast stuff because it was all this sort of anger from the punk period, I guess. But the actual guys in the bands were into heavy rock. But I guess they were influenced by this punk thing,
Well, you talk about influences. I got to think that Nigel, a lot of the guys from England and over there in Europe got their influence from early American rockers. Your Little Richards, your Big Boppers, your that stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's like again, we had a band over there. I mean, I started playing when I was 7 or 8, and we had a band, over here called the Shadows, which were, I bet, basically the British version of the Ventures.
Yeah,
wow.
The guitar bands,
Yeah.
And
Cool.
so that's sort of how I started listening to things like that, and then obviously the other stuff came along later. But
I was there with you, listening to the Ventures, Dwayne Eddy.
Yeah.
Rebel Rouser and stuff like that.
All that stuff, yeah.
And Vinny never listened to that. Vinny was too young.
Well, I was the next one.
He was the next generation.
A lot younger.
He was like.
But it's amazing to think about. You think about the heaviness of Saxon or the music that you've been involved with in your life. You think about the complexity of the music that you've been involved in, and to say that comes from Lucille or one of those things, it's interesting.
Of course.
It's interesting.
I mean, I mean, from my own sort of perspective, I mean, I was just soaking up all this stuff. I mean, I've got an older brother, and he was buying, he bought back a Beatles EP, with Twist and Shout, I think it was, and I was like, whoa, what's this? And
everybody was like, "Well, what's this?"
Well, exactly. So when he was going to school or going out to work, I was like listening to his albums and stuff. So I was just soaking all this stuff up. And I've got to say, I mean, I know you hear Carmine, but I mean, Vanilla Fudge. For me, I mean, I was just, funnily enough, I was listening to a Vanilla Fudge album about 3 days ago.
Oh wow! Which one? The first one?
No, Renaissance.
Renaissance.
With Paradise on it. That's one of my favorite. I love that track. But I'm saying
I wrote that song.
Excellent. But I'm saying I was listening to all this stuff, and just soaking it up. And we had, it went from like the Shadows, and then, obviously I sort of, because it was a TV show, got into the Monkees.
Yeah.
The Monkees.
The usual stuff.
Funny about the older brother. My older brother, 3 years older than me. And his first EP was an Elvis Presley EP.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I started playing around that time, and I was listening to like Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa, albums, and he was listening to Elvis Presley. So it kind of, I started making the crossover, and then we had these rock and roll shows by Alan Freed.
Yeah.
The Alan Freed Rock and Roll Show, which was like at the Brooklyn Paramount. I don't even know if Vinny was born yet at that point.
Yeah, probably not.
And
Why not?
my brother would not take me. My older brother would not take me with him. So my mother took me. My mother took me to this rock and roll show.
Okay.
And on it was like Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry and Little Richard, the Flamingos and all that era,
Yeah.
And they had this huge band with 2 drummers. And, I was just getting into drums then, and I was just blown away hearing the sound of the 2 drummers. They didn't have really great PAs then, so you just heard really the sound coming off the stage, And it was amazing. My mother took me.
Is that why you don't get? Is that why you don't get them tickets to your shows?
Hey, Frank? Yeah, brother. That's right.
I want to
No,
go
I
see
mean,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
He'll pay.
Sold
Yeah.
out, buddy.
No, I mean, after the drummer in the Shadows. I mean, the original drummer was a guy called Tony Meehan, and then they had a second guy called Brian Bennett, who was like, I mean, he's solo on the second. I think what was I, probably 8 or 9. He's solo on the second Shadows album, just floored me, And
Did
then
you listen to Sandy Nelson?
yeah, I had the 45 of that.
Let There Be Drums.
Yeah,
Cozy
Yeah.
Cole, Topsy Part 2.
yeah.
You know that
I
one?
had Let
Are
There
these
Be
drummers
Drums.
in? Were these drummers in Abraham Lincoln's first band? Are we talking
They were late
his high school
50s.
band?
No, the funny thing was, and there was a guy that used to do a lot of the sessions during the 60s and the 70s in the UK, was a guy called Clem Catini.
Oh.
And I mean, he just played on loads of stuff. And I was I think it's probably about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was at a London drum show. And in walked Brian Bennett and Clem Catini. I just, my jaw hit the floor, I was like, I've got to have a picture with these guys,
How old were they then? Boy, they must have been old.
Yeah, I mean, Clem was walking with a stick, and everything. But no, it was just wow. That made my day. That did.
Yeah.
You talk about the history. You brought up obviously the Beatles, and
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Billy, one of my prized possessions. I've been doing what I've been doing is a gift you gave me, an autographed picture from you of I believe it was your dad with Ringo and the Beatles. It's just amazing history that Ludwig has. I mean, it's got to blow your mind even to this day how much a part of history that the Ludwig name and the Ludwig family has been. Now Ringo was a Ludwig guy, of course. And
Ludwig
that
had
drum
everybody. Ludwig had
Everybody.
everybody. Every big name band pretty much played Ludwig.
Well, how much of that, Billy? My question is, how much of that, and to Carmine's point, because everybody did, who were some of the other huge names, first of all? And second of all, how did that happen? Like, besides they're the best, of course, but still, there's always somebody going off to different tangents. But Ludwig really cornered the market. Was it just a testimonial to your grandfathers and your fathers just beating down beating on the doors and grabbing these huge stars, or was there another reason?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, my grandfather and father always stressed, while I was growing up, quality product and customer service. And that carried over to the artist. And when I started doing artist relations, it was before pagers or texting or emails or even overnight FedEx. So everybody had my home phone number and my office phone number and my parents' phone number. And you could get me at one of 3 of those numbers. And
there were no cell phones either.
Right,
No cell
right. And there was a couple of times when I had an artist call me in the morning, or the drum tech call me in the morning and say, we broke something. And I say, okay, what time do you go on? And I would go get the part made, and my dad would take me to the airport. I'd fly out to the gig, rent a car, and deliver the part to sound check, at sound check. And the one time it was really close was a bass drum, a Vistalite 26-inch bass drum for Michael DeRocher with Hart. And they dropped it off the stage and it shattered. Didn't crack.
Oh my God.
Shattered. So I get the call at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I said, what time do you guys go on? They were opening for ELO. And they said, 7. I said, I'll see you before 7. And I didn't know how close I would be before 7 because I had to fly and then drive to the gig and rush hour traffic. And I got there at 6:30.
Oh.
And it was 75,000 seat Pontiac Silverdome, and I was sweating. And they had, when I pulled up, security knew, when I asked them, I'm the drum guy, that way, go that way, go that way. So I get right up to the back door, and there was 2 golf carts, one for the bass drum and one for me. They took the bass drum to the stage, they took me to the dressing room, and I walked in, and the band went, yay, and handed me a beer. And said,
You're lucky it was there and not like in L.A.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I got a great story.
So
I got a great story of, you might remember this, Bill. we played the Kinetic Playground in Chicago. It
Yeah.
was Jethro Tull, Led Zeppelin, and Vanilla Fudge.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Gee,
Brilliant.
And I don't know if you were doing A&R, but you was obviously
No.
still in the family there.
No.
But your Ludwig guys came there with a new Speed King pedal that had a new reinforcement piece on the bottom because we used to
Okay.
break the piece off.
Yeah.
And they with all the new Atlas stands that
Oh.
you guys were developing, all
Yeah.
these brand new stands. So the three of us were Ludwig guys. So they distributed the stands and the pedals to all of us. By the end of the night, we gave you back the stands broken and the pedals broken. And we said, not good enough. It was unbelievable, but just that show, Clive Bunker, John Bonham, and myself,
Yeah.
My
and
gosh.
me and John had the big oversized maple drums, and Clive had a regular size Ludwig kit. But I'll never forget that, when they were so proud giving us these stands and stuff. At the end of the night, he said, sorry, boys, broken that.
Back
Vinny
to
would
R&D.
appreciate that, the wrecking crew there.
Funnily enough, I don't know if you remember this, Bill, as well. I remember we were doing an open air, I think it was in '82 in Chicago, with Sammy Hagar, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
And you came up and, I was playing Ludwig then.
Yeah.
I had the whole thing, 6, 8, 10, 12, all that. And you came up and said,
Octopus.
yeah, but it was, yeah.
Did it
And
have
he
double heads?
No, they were all. They could have, but they were all singles. I had them all singles. But Bill came up and said, "Oh, I've got a new stand here for you. For this is like pre-rack, because now I use a rack. We've got a new stand for a 6 and an 8 for you. So great, okay, set it up. Anyway, we started the gig, and it was really windy. And I remember I went on to this 6 and 8 and I hit the thing and it just went donk.
Oh,
Right.
Oh man.
Right. I remember that, and your face was like,
yeah.
and then the wind was going, and again, I don't know if you remember this, but you
I
and
do,
my
yeah.
tech were absolutely horizontal on my drum riser, holding the stands in this wind for the whole
Yeah.
gig. It was brilliant.
I remember that.
Wow.
On your stomach, holding these
Yeah.
things. So it's brilliant.
That's funny.
But for the most part, Ludwig products are quality.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. But the
Yeah. Well, they were
But the
innovative.
service is where it
service,
is. The
right.
service,
Yeah.
you
and
know.
that's why
And
I tried hard to go to as many concerts as I could and support my endorsers.
He
And,
I can
know.
tell you that. He's at the
Yeah.
Arcada all the time
Yeah.
supporting old
Well-
friends of his. Really.
well,
he
it's
is.
also because I love your meatballs, Ron. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Billy.
The meatballs.
Thanks, Billy.
Meatballs. That's what I say.
Meatballs.
But
Yeah,
I enjoy
exactly.
doing it, and I enjoy the hands-on aspect of it. And now with my new drum company, WFL3 Drums, I love to go with 2 snare drums, do a sound check, even if I don't know the guy or whatever, and just bullshit my way in and say, "Here, try this," and all of a sudden, they're trying snare drums and they love it. So it's fun.
It's a great product. I know that
Thank
for a
you.
fact. Every
Here's a
people
classic
I look up.
Ludwig picture, Bill. See if you remember.
Oh yeah,
See that?
yeah. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that. yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that
Cool.
snare drum is the one Vinny was showing before.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
cool.
All right.
Wasn't that a deep one? Six
Yep,
and a
that
half?
6-inch. It was a 6.5
No,
inch.
this is 5 or whatever. 5
No,
and a half.
that looks bigger than 5. Is it 5?
No, it's a 5. I never use
is
those
5.
deep drums. It's 5.
Oh yeah, it is 5. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show everybody the one I had. Okay, I have this 1924 Ludwig snare drum. Black. It's
That's
called
a
Black
5.
Beauty. That's
Yeah.
a 5-inch.
Yeah.
And it has all this design on it.
Wow.
And that throw off.
That's beautiful. It's a piece of artwork
Yeah.
there.
38, and it's 15 inches. That the diameter is 15 inches.
Nice.
And it's a brass drum and all the brass hardware. I bought this in a pawn shop. That's a PAWN. Pawn shop.
Why would they?
Yeah,
Why would they
yeah,
have
right.
a pawn shop?
For $5. I paid $5 for it. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Billy,
Hey, now,
Go ahead, Nigel.
God, no, I was going to say, you guys that know the history stuff, when did they stop doing that? You know, on the tensioners of snares, when did they stop doing the claws over the top?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know the exact year on that. It'd have to be the 30s, I think.
Oh, you mean like this one has the claws? Yeah.
Yeah, the claw. Because I had, I mean, when
yeah.
I, you know, my dad bought me, I can't even remember what the make of my snare drum was. Mine had claws over the top as well, because the hoop was just
Yeah,
a piece of metal.
Billy.
My first one was a piece of crap drum set, and the problem was, Vinny, you remember that one where you had the floor tom-tom was a snare drum, and they had claws. It was single tension, claw on the top and claw on the bottom. It was cheap. But
Okay.
my Gretsch kit that I bought in 1961 had no claws. So that was
no. It was only a snare drum that had it.
Yeah. And I have a 1940s. A 1940s Slingerland, and I don't think it had claws. So,
Hey, Billy, it's something
I would imagine
the way the
somewhere
world is
between the
now.
20s and 30s must have stopped.
The way the world is now, Billy, I'd bring back the claws if I were you in your next design.
I was just going to say, you want claws? I got claws. I'll go with
You want claws.
You want claws? We got claws here.
I'll get the
Because
claws.
everything's like, you know, dark and goth and
Yeah.
black and you know what I mean? So claws I think would be a huge design element.
I'll
That's a
go.
good question.
I'll
I mean,
go
I
buy
never-
some. I'll go
never
buy
thought
some
about that.
claws. I'll go buy some claws as soon as I get done lacquering some more shells out in the backyard. So
All right.
I never thought about claws until you mentioned it. You know, I never thought about
Bring back the bass
Yeah.
drum tuning also.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. The
T-
biggest thing you need to bring back is
T-handle.
I have them on this bass drum. See these things?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Bill, these are 1971 Ludwig. My Ludwig 24 by 15 bass drums.
nice,
I got two of
Look at
them.
that.
and it's
Right?
still
And
ticking.
they have the claws. They have the claws. You see up here what Vinny's talking about?
Yeah.
No, the T-Rods.
The
T-rod, T-rods, yeah.
The T-rods with claws. Yeah,
Yeah.
but some company, I won't mention names, started the design of those without the T-rods, and you do it with the key.
Yeah.
Why?
Which means when you're playing, you see a wrinkle in your bass drum, you take the key out while you're trying to play.
Yeah.
Tune it, and then how many keys fall on the floor?
Here, you
Yeah.
want to borrow? I got
And
a
then,
key.
Yeah.
then you never get it done. So
Yeah.
that was the worst design flaw I've ever seen on a bass drum.
Well,
That,
that's,
and the
that's,
that and the Velcro underneath the hi-hat.
that's
Yeah.
because
If you ever want to move it, you kill your shoulder, you know?
That's because your roadie doesn't know how to tune a bass drum. So if you get a new roadie, you won't have that problem.
But didn't the T-bars used to screw up with the foam in the flight cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
That is
Good one,
behind the
Nigel.
scenes stuff right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they
You know-
did it.
Get a bigger case.
I say get a roadie that knows how to pack your case better.
You're right.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're right.
That's it.
Speaking of a case, I just got a picture of Joe Calzone that makes Calzone Anvil cases. Built a case
I'm going to get
for
some.
Tim Bogut's urn, you know?
Oh
It's
yeah.
a road case. It's a black road case, and his urn is black and gold with a clear front, and on the side, a brass plate with Tim Bogut's autograph on
Oh
it.
wow.
Oh, cool.
Gorgeous. I mean,
Brilliant.
So Tim is forever in a flight case now.
Oh, that's great.
That's
That's brilliant.
really cool.
And you know Tim,
Well,
Bill.
Yeah. Well, do you guys know where my father is?
Yeah.
My father is
In a drum.
in my living room in a snare drum.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
there you go.
I have a couple of I have a Slingerland gold and black 6-inch Slingerland gold and black little tom. It's the leopard one. And Leslie said, when you die, do you want to be put into that drum? I said, sure.
Okay, you heard it here, folks.
Don't rush
Claws
it.
on drums and ashes in
What are you doing?
snares.
Yeah.
Oh, Vinny went and got some pictures. Look out.
Uh-oh.
Yo, remember this? This was this stable of stars.
Oh yeah. the
Oh, yeah,
outfits.
man.
Oh.
Look at this shit.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Where'd you get that?
There's a whole book they gave you.
Yeah, those are the
I got
outtakes.
Yeah, I don't have that book.
Yes, you do.
So tell us about
Carmine.
what does that represent, guys?
Wow.
There's Carmine, Ainsley Dunbar, Tony Brock. I don't know who's in the back.
Oh yeah.
Roy from Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Uh,
Yeah, there was
Vinny,
everybody.
what is that
every
book,
Ludwig.
Vinny?
this one's got Alan White, Ginger Baker. Look,
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to.
Cool.
Vin,
There's
you got to
Ginger
tell us what
Baker,
the book is.
Alan White.
Well, it was a book that Bill gave to everybody, obviously, where I lost. But but it was an ad that he did called Stable of Stars. We went out to a horse stable, and he got every
Let's see if
Ludwig
there's a-
endorser there, which was amazing. You know,
Great.
you had Ginger Baker, Mitch Mitchell, me, Ian Pace, everybody that played Ludwig.
That's your
Vinny,
dad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had a dinner party
Look at Bill.
afterwards.
That's Bill right there.
Yeah.
Bill.
There's Bill. Look at him. You look like a
Uh,
rock star yourself there, Billy.
Yeah, and they did. What'd you do? 3 years of that, right? And then those
Well, I
ads
did-
ran in every magazine, like in double fold. There was a full 2 pages.
I did
You know?
5 of them.
Yeah,
Did 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
and
was-
the horse stable one was interesting, but it was also outside in August in Chicago, so it almost rained on us. So the next year, I
There
did
we
this
go.
one in the factory.
right.
That's
Oh
the
yeah.
Wow.
That's the Factory of Stars, because I thought,
Ah.
okay,
I remember that.
I'm there.
it'll
I
be-
see me. I see me.
it'll be easier to control everything that way. But boy, was I wrong, because all the endorsers in between shots are walking around going, "Oh, I need some of these, and I need some," and taking parts
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuffing them in their pockets.
And you had a tour
Like,
bus.
stop!
What's that, Vinny?
The tour bus.
Well, that's the bus. The bus
Yeah.
that took us there. Oh man, that's.
The
I
bus.
don't know where that. I don't know
Brilliant.
where my book is. God, that's amazing.
That's Joey Kramer there in the
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Cool.
That's the bus
Wow.
that Ginger Baker kept asking me, "Can I drive the bus?"
no.
No, Ginger.
Let's do that. Let's put Ginger behind the wheel. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
That's
hey
it.
Vinny, you got to scan some of them pictures for me if you got a
They
chance.
spelled my name wrong too.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's it, Bill.
Well,
I
that's
still got
amazing
that.
history.
I don't know
man.
how. It was in the book. It was in the shelves everywhere I moved.
It's
and
cool
I
that
still got
it's
it.
right there for you. You're
Because I didn't want to lose it, so I
I
know where
must have
stuff
had
is.
it, but I must have had one too, but I don't have a clue where it is.
I can help you with that, Carmine. I know a guy.
I know.
I know a guy that knows a guy.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to have it.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, we talked earlier. It came up about how Hart opened up for ELO and those kind of situations,
Yeah.
and how even though there were 75,000 people in the audience, how the big applause came for Billy at that show backstage. But I know there's a little bit of a story, and I think you can help me with this, Nigel, about Ozzy. Did he actually open for Saxon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
My first tour with first European tour with Saxon, we had Ozzy opening for us in Europe. So
As what though? Like, was he doing Sabbath song? What was he doing?
Probably
No,
the
it was
first album.
it was his first or second album. That
The
was
Blizzard,
it
I
was,
think.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So that was Bob.
Diary
Daisley,
of Oz, I think.
Diary of a Madman. That was the second one,
Bob
wasn't it?
Daisley, Lee Kurzak.
No,
No?
it was Tommy Aldrich
Tommy.
Oh,
Oh.
and
Was it a big Blizzard of Oz?
and Rudy Zazo. That would have been Diary of a Madman, wouldn't it? The second album, I think.
well, yeah, that was the second
And
album.
yeah, we had a German band on first, then Ozzy was in the middle,
Wow.
and
Did you do Dortmund Festival in '83?
I think so.
Yeah, because I played with Ozzy there. It was Bob Daisley, Don Airy, Jakey Lee,
Yeah,
myself.
oh, I love Jakey. Jakey Lee
Yeah.
was my favourite Ozzy guitarist.
Yeah, he was.
I
great.
got to say, but no, it got to a point, and then we did. I can't remember. It was somewhere in Germany. We did a sound check, and then their gear went up, and like nothing happened. the next thing, and the next thing we knew, Ozzy was on the phone. He was back in England.
Wow. He said,
See,
"Screw
Vinny?
this."
See, I told you, Vinny.
none of the other guys knew he'd even gone.
Oh.
They were all ready to sound check, and he'd gone, no, sod this.
And that happened with us with BBA, with Jeff Beck. We were in a tour in '73, and everything sold out. We wake up in, I think it was Atlanta, and I go down for breakfast, and I see the tour manager. I go, "What time sound check?" He goes, "Gig's off." I go, "What do you mean the gig's off?" He said, "Jeff went home." I said, "What do you mean he went home?" We got 4 more gigs that sold out. He went home.
Well, you talk about those, BBA and the super group kind of thing. I'd like to segue a little bit into GTR because I think that was an amazing project. And you're talking about obviously with Saxon and your former stuff is so heavy, but then you're entering off, into the prog rock world.
Yeah.
With Steve Howe, Steve Hackett. Genesis.
Yeah.
It's just
Really?
Asia. It's an amazing
I'm on a
group.
podcast
How'd
with
that come
Carmine and
together?
Well,
Let's wait for Bill to be finished.
Okay.
tape, but I'll call you back.
he's
Okay,
ordering pizza.
Okay.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about that because I talk about a super group. And is there any thought of doing anything like that again, or what's the dynamics of that whole thing?
No, what happened was, I got really sort of angry at management at that period, and we were on a tour over there in the US, and I quit the band when I got back to the UK, and I got rung up actually and asked if I'd go and have a blast with Steve Howe and the GTR thing, and the bass player was Phil Spalding, who I was in Toyah with pre-Saxon. So I went over, and Steve Hackett had gone by this time. He'd left. And so I went to this rehearsal, and I'm a big Yes fan. I'm a prog head anyway. Know, I'm not a metalhead. I'm a prog head, and
which is interesting. People wouldn't know that about you, Nigel.
Yeah.
And
outside of the GTR thing.
That's true. But I sort of went in, and I was absolutely scared crapless. Basically, it was like, oh my God, it's Steve Howe. I was just and no, we had a blast round, and that was it. And we started sort of routining songs and recording and everything, and
Was
that's
it
how.
Instrumental? Was it an instrumental band?
No.
With
We
vocals?
had vocals and stuff,
Who was
lots of
singing?
harmonies and stuff. A guy called Max Bacon, who's he's given up the music business now.
Mm.
But there was a lot of, I think, sort of political stuff going on in the background. It was, and we had about 3 weeks probably left to finish the album before mixing, and suddenly Steve came in and said, "We've been dropped."
Oh.
That was it.
Ah.
How? I don't know. There was stuff going on. All during the recording, it was like getting things back from the record company saying, no, we wanted a bit more commercial, so we'd sort of rearrange the tracks and do it a bit more commercial. Then they come back, no, we wanted a bit more arty as it was before.
Yeah.
So something was going on, and in the end, they just said, Steve came in and said they pulled the plug, bang, done.
Wow.
And that was
I
it.
guess,
I'm on a podcast.
I guess what's good about that is that your career, you got a little bit more involved, or Steve Howe got involved with you, and you got involved with him, and you played on several Asia albums. You played on a Steve Howe album.
Yeah,
and you're also a composer.
Yeah, I write music for TV and stuff, and I write with the
Oh,
band
good for
anyway,
you.
with sax
Wow,
and stuff. I sort of do background music for
You play
documentaries and
keyboards?
stuff.
You play
Yeah,
keyboard?
yeah.
Oh, nice. Did
And,
you play keyboards before drums?
No, I just love keyboards. I just always, hence the prog thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You
Do you have a recording studio in your house?
I just sort of have a little sort of computer set up with Logic and stuff, and a load of synthesizers and various things.
Man. We
And,
should exchange some tracks and meet you and Vinny.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I'm saying why not? And I just like piddling around with loops and all sorts of stuff, man.
Oh, good. Yeah. I love all
You're a
that.
deep musician, Nigel. You're deep.
I played
musically.
bass for a little while,
Wow.
so I sort of got into that, And
Yeah.
no,
My background is mostly doo-wop singing.
yeah,
And then Vanilla Fudge, we continued all the singing. So I've always been into singing.
yeah.
And I majored in music in high school, so I learned somewhat keyboard and
Oh,
I play
okay.
guitar and bass. And I write a lot of songs on my iPad on GarageBand.
Yeah.
All kinds of songs, and I
I
sing
made
and harmonize and all that. Go on,
made-
Vin. Go ahead.
I majored in music outside the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, Vinny
Called
actually
street
built-
music.
Yeah,
The street.
Vinny built my computer and my system here. He's a computer geek, and
Yeah.
See, you don't know
you
this.
know,
This
we're
is,
using
you don't know
Cubase.
this about you guys.
Oh, Cubase, right? Yeah, I
We're
use.
doing
Yeah,
Cubase. I got Focusrites,
yeah.
and Vinny built a computer. It's got like 3.5 terabytes of.
And Vinny
memory
also repaired the computer when he got struck by lightning at
Got
his
struck
house.
by lightning.
Really?
In Florida.
Blew
yeah, I
out,
couldn't believe
blew
it.
out one of the Focusrite units. Blew
Oh,
out
jeez.
something. in
TV.
the
I got 2
computer.
screens to blow out one of my screens. So now,
Boom.
Yeah.
every time I'm done in here, I unplug everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug the internet. I unplug
Yeah.
everything. So I
Makes
don't want
sense.
that to happen again.
But yeah, I mean, I
Too
didn't
much.
sort of. I mean, you obviously, you know, if someone says to me, play, you know, on a keyboard, play an A minor or something, I haven't a clue what they're talking about. I just,
Oh, really?
I just do it by ear.
A year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
know
I
a
mean,
little bit about that.
I know where sort of A, B, C, D are on the keyboard as such.
But you know,
if say,
the chord.
play
You know what an A minor chord is, right?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I
That's
just, you know.
that's the black thing you plug in. to
Well,
put the
I
power
know
to
that
the
stuff.
Yeah.
keyboard, right?
I know that stuff.
But you know, something like I'll play a, you know, A minor sus or whatever. It's like what? No idea.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's,
You did
I'll
it
hit
all
the
by
white
ear.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hit those
You
things.
we all have each other's emails on it. Send me one of your pieces.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
you're talking about we've touched a little bit on technology, and you guys are talking about all this kind of stuff. Billy, what I mean, you know, obviously the essence of drums and Ludwig is so much original, the old school. Basically, so much of your business or so much of your product still touches around 1909, 1920, 1930s. It's got the, but what do we have to look forward to, if anything, with regards to all this technology that's happening? I'm going to ask you a question here. I mean, you know, look at Carmine, look at Nigel, Vinny. These are guys, they're classic guys. But 20 years from now, are we going to be just doing the Synsonics and that's it? Are we doing, I mean, what is the future of the actual drums as you see it, being the industry leader?
I don't think it's going to go that far electronic. I mean, it's electronics can be used as a tool or an accessory, but the basic, you know, core sound of a drum, the resonance of the classic sound, which is what I'm going after with my new company, 3-ply, maple, poplar maple, thin shells, resonance.
Yes.
Everybody plays them and goes, oh, the classic sound. And that's what people want.
Yeah.
So I don't think the electronics are going to be that big of a factor in the.
Hey, Bill, you got a website for the new drums and stuff, or
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
of course.
Yes,
what
I
is
do,
plug?
Vincent.
Plug.
WFLIII drums.com.
Okay.
It's easy. And I could vouch for Bill. I played on some of Bill's drums, and
Yeah,
they got that old Ludwig classic sound.
thank you.
And I believe you still have the T-bars on the bass drum, don't you?
Well, I will tomorrow.
Yeah,
Starting
well,
tomorrow.
T-bars and claws. T-bars and claws starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow. Coming to a drum shop near you.
Yeah, right.
But the other unique thing about my company is that you know, people, you call me and I answer the phone, and people are just floored by that. That people will say, "I can't believe you answered the phone." And I said, "It rang. What do you want?" You know.
Yeah, right.
And you know, people are used to push 1 for customer service, push 2 for marketing, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, that's shit.
So I actually answer the phone, and if I don't, I respond to the message quickly. And people are really having a lot of fun with that. Drum shops.
Actually, I just
consumers.
tried to call you, but I must have an old number.
No, I have you
I gotta get your
blocked.
number.
I have you blocked, Vinny. Sorry.
That's funny.
There you go. Well, your phone was ringing. I thought, hey, Bill, how's it going up there? How's
No,
the
but-
show?
And Nigel, your manager's a drummer.
Sorry?
Your manager's a drummer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Adam?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Alan,
Yeah.
yeah.
You just sent me the voicemail, Bill. You just sent me the voicemail.
Have you seen his drum collection? Have you seen his thing? He's got a thing on YouTube with all his drum collection. He's
got amazing.
Yeah.
He's a freak. He's
Yeah.
a freak for that stuff. I tell
Yeah,
you.
I was going to ask you actually. We're talking about sort of how drums are going to go forward. Do you think anything else is going to happen head-wise? Is there going to be something new head-wise? It's funny because, we were talking about the old drums. I remember when I started, it was the calf heads.
Yeah, me too.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And when the weather was crappy over here, grey, they'd they'd all drop down. So I'd hold my snare drum in front of an electric fire.
I remember,
to
when
tune it up.
You remember when the
Wow.
Weather King came out? The Weather King?
Yeah.
Right?
Remo.
You didn't even know who it was. It was just
No.
called the Weather King.
I mean, I had and back then, so this was 60 something. My kit was like totally. The bass drum was a Gigster, which I think someone found out that was might have been something to do with Gretsch. I think.
Wow.
I'm not sure. And the tom I had was a President, whatever that was. But there were two sizes. There was an imperial size and an international size. So if I went into a drum store and I've got a 12-inch tom, sometimes they wouldn't fit.
Oh, yeah. What a nightmare.
Wow.
Because there was imperial and something else. And it was the same actually with rotor toms. Because I had a kit of rotor toms for a while. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 14, 6, 2, 16 floor things. I was using Premier heads, and the Premier 6-inch head would not go in the 6-inch rotor tom.
Wow.
Wouldn't
That's
have it.
brave.
Nigel, real quick here. Saxon, I mean, we're coming out of this thing, hopefully. Saxon is on the road, I believe. And what's a new album? What's going on with Saxon?
Yeah, we just got a new album out, and we're sort of lining up a UK European tour for the fall. Mm-hmm. And we were going to try and get over to the States April, May, but I think a lot of the promoters over there are still a bit nervous.
Not me. Come on, come home, baby.
I love playing that. I love playing that. I love your theatre, and I love there's that
So do I.
fusion Chinese place just over the river with a big dragon on the wall.
That's right. That's right.
That's where I go every time.
That's right, man. We're waiting for you. Come home, Nigel. Come home.
No. I mean, but it just couldn't be done in the time, So hopefully after that we'll get over. But I'm going to be over there anyway. From the 24th of February, I'm moving back. So.
Where are you moving?
What happens to your
Dallas.
house over there? You still have it? You'll still keep your house over there?
No, I'm just renting here at the moment. Because we came over here because I had stuff to do, and then in the end, it was just like the lockdown happened, all that stuff. So I'm still here.
Wow.
But
Nigel, you should come up in May for the Chicago Drum Show. It's May 2021.
Yeah.
Right out by Ron's Theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should do that. We'd love to have you, man.
Remind me about it. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. In fact, Ron doesn't know this yet, but I'm planning a drummer's party.
Are you?
At the Arcata Theater. But
Come home, Billy. Come home.
I'll let you know about that, Ron. Sorry.
Let's do that. Well, you always have a home by me, Billy.
You know what? We should do a drum war show at that.
Yeah, Ron.
All right, Drum Wars.
Yeah,
with all of us.
May 20th. Let me look, and we're going to book that today because I think that's a genius thing. I've always tried to do that. Let me just see something.
Actually, we did that. We did that one time. Didn't we do that one time?
Not at his theater, no.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did with Tofi Baker. That was.
We did it at my place.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, with me. It was supposed to be Ginger, me, and you, and then Ginger got sick, and Tofi did.
Ginger got sick,
but it had something to do with the Chicago Drum Show. If I remember right.
Yeah.
Well,
let me look at that because we're going to make something like that happen. That makes a lot of sense. So hopefully your schedule is open. But once again, Billy, you're always welcome by me and by us. And you're legendary not only because of your family name, but you're such a cool guy. You've always been wonderful to everybody. You have the right to be a jerk, to be an uppity person because of. I mean, you do.
Let me tell you, Billy's a beautiful.
Your bloodline and your history allows you to have a certain level. They would say, "Well, that's Billy Ludwig." You are not that. You're one of the guys. You're one of us, and thank you for being that. Nigel, a true legend, icon, and we love you very much. I tell you what, you're one of those guys I just love to watch. You just don't stop. I mean, the show doesn't start. You're walking around like this. It's amazing what's going on. So, and Carmine and Vinny, what can I say?
I look forward to getting some music from you. I like to hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Bill, we'll
Absolutely.
see you soon. I know we always talk anyway.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I know Bill.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know him since he's 15. He developed into being a nice guy as
He's
an
a
old
good guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's a good guy with an incredible legacy, an
Yeah.
incredible bloodline,
Oh,
an incredible
come
future
on,
for drumming.
come on,
So
enough.
Well,
Oh,
you know
he's
what?
not going to be
It
able to
is
walk
what
out
it
of the
is.
house now, you know.
I know his head won't fit out the door, right? He's got to walk out sideways.
So,
I wanna-
Carmine,
Anyway,
Carmine,
go ahead, Nigel.
where are you living, Carmine? Are you down in
I live
Florida?
outside West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, you're down there now. Okay.
Yeah,
which
I've been
I
down
want
there
to
a
come
year and a half.
down.
So, hence very close to Nico then.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
20 minutes. I'm 20 minutes from Nico.
Nico picks them up 5 minutes. They go on
Yeah, we go. Yeah, we go to
that.
movies there. He calls me the other
Carmine,
day
we
and
all
says,
want to know when you guys go dancing, who leads?
I don't dance. But we play drums together. I tell you what, he had a great drum sound. Great, one of those British drum companies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
who
British drum.
that's who
Yeah,
I'm
it
with.
sounded really
That's
good.
who's-
It sounded really
Yeah.
good. You know.
Well, Vinny, I'd worry if I were you. Drum Wars, you may have a replacement in Drum Wars here. It sounds like to me. I don't know.
I know. I don't know what's going on, but they could stay in the
Oh.
same room too, so it saves money.
I'm all for that. That's one less hotel room I
Get it.
gotta pay for.
Oh,
I'm for
you
that.
better hope Nico's not watching
One
this.
double, and I'll stay in the single.
That's funny.
Oh,
And with that, with these
Yeah,
legends, that's what we're gonna
another
leave
fun
with.
show.
Okay.
Another fun show.
Another fun show. Nigel, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nigel.
Billy, of
Hey.
course, Carmine, and
Bill,
Vinny,
thank
my
you.
Hey, you know
Thank
what?
brothers.
It's
Thank
8 in
you
the
guys for
morning
having
here.
me on. You know,
Look.
it's been great. You know.
yeah, thanks.
Oh,
Thank you,
nice.
Ron.
He's got his jammies on. His
Hey!
jammies.
Oh.
It's 8 in the morning. Oh, now it's 9 in the morning. But
It's crazy. Well, Vinny, go back
coffee.
to bed, and you go back
See
to
you
bed,
guys
and
later.
all of you out there, thanks for watching us once again on Artists of Lockdown, Hanging and Banging. It's been another Thursday night, packed full of legends and icon stories, and guys just hanging out. We'll see you each week at 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock Central. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, our Facebook page, all the stuff we got going, our podcast, and really thanks to everybody who helped put this together again. Once again, we're having a great time. I'll see you next week on Hanging and Banging right here, Artists on Lockdown. See you guys.